In this video, I will reveal Jandro's 2 Statues of Liberty vanish on Penn and Teller's Fool Us. Here's a quick recap of what happened. Jandro started the performance by saying he was going to outclass David Copperfield not by vanishing 1 statue, but by vanishing 2 Statues of Liberty right in the middle of an airplane landing track under impossible conditions. He said the statues would be held in the air by his friend, and he brought along a lawyer and a policeman.
We have legal problems, we also have a lawyer. No one steals those statues, we also have a policeman.
Jandro explained that the statues were being guarded on a platform completely isolated from the floor and fully surrounded. To judge the act live on the runway, he introduced the Spanish Penn and Teller and told them to call out if they saw anything suspicious during the vanish. He also instructed the airport ground crew, holding their marshalling wands, to wave them if they spotted anything unusual. He then dropped a black cloth around the platform and secured it at the base. Moments later, he pulled it away to reveal that the 2 statues and all 3 participants had vanished. Finally, he invited the Spanish Penn to walk up onto the platform and confirm that everything and everyone was truly gone. This trick fooled Penn and Teller, and according to them, Penn suggested mirrors, a trapdoor in the runway, or that the participants were hidden in the black cloth when it was thrown down. All of these were wrong guesses, but they actually help us narrow down the method Jandro used. We can also quickly dismiss the theory of invisible ropes and a helicopter. A hovering helicopter would have been far too loud. The aerial view showed no cover above the platform, and with a clear sky, unlike the busy background in Copperfield's Flying Illusion, wires would have been easy to spot. That leaves the details on the ground. The Statues of Liberty, you'll quickly realize, were all misdirection, since the entire trick centered on 3 participants disappearing from a platform. And that's when you'll notice, just as the black curtain falls, you can see the participants subtly turning their feet. The first participant shifts to his right, and the policeman does the same. Now wait a minute. Why is there a slit in the cloth in the back? Pay attention to the surroundings. Why are there 3 planes conveniently parked directly behind the platform, despite having no role in the trick? The first one looks very suspicious, and doesn't even look like the rest. Now, unlike typical Fool Us performances, these 3 members weren't randomly selected audience members, since the performance was filmed during quarantine with no audience present. The 3 participants were clearly assistants. And positioned directly beneath the platform, the red rectangle actually plays a critical role. To understand why, notice that when the performance starts, they show clips filmed by both a drone and a handheld camera. But the moment when the actual vanish happens, the cameraman stands still, and the drone no longer provides an aerial view. That's because when the curtain falls, the 3 assistants quickly turn around and exit through a slit in the back, hidden from the audience's perspective. But wait, wouldn't the Spanish Penn and Teller seated low and far back have a clear view of them jumping off? Even the 2 airport ground crew members would have seen what was happening, so why wasn't anyone reacting? Was this all staged, and Jandro cheated into fooling Penn and Teller? Well, the truth is, yes, it's staged, but not cheating in any way. The secret is dual reality is at play here. He used dual reality to play with our assumptions about the strictly Spanish-speaking members, and since they didn't understand English, they were simply following visual cues. The Spanish Penn and Teller were told to just sit and watch, and had no clue about signaling or shouting anything if they saw something, since those instructions were in English. The ground crew members, waving the marshalling wands, were simply mimicking Jandro's gestures. Some theories suggest the crew members were blind, but that makes no sense. If they were blind, they couldn't have copied Jandro's hand movements. Yes, I'm aware of partial blindness, but then again, if they can see Jandro, then they can also see the 3 people escaping, and if they were blind and understood English, it would contradict the concept of dual reality being executed here. I'm sure you get the point now. Since they only understood Spanish, we assumed they were comprehending the instructions like the rest of us. And if their presence was really that important, their feedback should have been too. But no one interviewed them. No one translated their perspective, so we are left with an illusion built entirely on our own assumptions. So, how come we never saw them jump off, and where did they escape to? Well, that's where the red rectangle comes in. That rectangle served as a jump marker, but without being too obvious. The assistants had to jump off the platform one by one as far as possible. while the rectangle helped them roughly estimate the safe jumping distance. Secondly, it also acted as a guide to limit the viewing angle for the camera filming the moment of escape. But what if one of them didn't land properly, failing to avoid the line of sight, or even the cameraman filming messed it up? Then what? Well, this trick wasn't even filmed live. They had all the time in the world to film it multiple times till they got the best version. Remember, this was filmed in quarantine. Although it may look like they have to jump quite a bit of distance, that's not actually the case. To estimate the size of the rectangle, we'll use Jandro's shoe as a rough reference. The average adult male shoe size is about 10.5 or approximately 28.3 centimeters. Oh yes, for the American viewers, that would be roughly the length of 3.5 cheeseburgers placed end to end. This means the rectangle measures roughly 325.5 centimeters, or 3.3 meters. Furthermore, the back of the platform is already positioned very close to the edge of the rectangle. So all they need to do is jump about 0.5 meter, and such a broad jump hardly requires much effort. While the camera was positioned to block the front view, they quickly ran in a straight line and climbed up into the hollow plane, using the left wing as a makeshift running board. But what about the shadows? They suspiciously became diffused right after the curtain dropped. Was the footage edited in post to hide the shadows? Well, no. The diffusion was caused by clouds temporarily covering the sun. Even if the sunlight had remained consistent, the illusion still would have worked. That's because the time of day and the escape direction they chose were deliberate, so that the assistant's shadows would stay hidden, which is clearly hidden from the right angle, even if the sun wasn't covered. And that's how Jandro managed to perform this illusion. Behind this mask, only the truth remains till we meet again.